Elland Road! Faithful gather round. The summer sun is blazing, but nothing burns hotter than the transfer chaos swirling around our beloved Leeds United right now. If you thought last season was a roller coaster, buckle up, because what's happening behind the scenes at Thorpe Arch will leave you absolutely speechless. Picture this. A winger who's become a financial nightmare, a goal machine we let slip through our fingers for peanuts, and a rising star who's about to choose our rivals over us. 3 earth-shattering stories that are interconnected in ways that'll make your head spin faster than a Crescencio Somerville step-over. Smash that like button right now if you're ready for the truth about what the 49ers are really planning. Hit subscribe because trust me, you don't want to miss a single update from this transfer window from hell. The first bombshell involves a player earning massive wages who's become untouchable. Not because he's brilliant, but because he's too expensive to get rid of. The second will have you questioning everything Daniel Farke thinks he knows about spotting talent. And the third, well, that's the gut punch that proves we're still not the attractive destination we think we are. Are you ready to discover why our summer strategy might be falling apart faster than our championship promotion dreams? Jack Harrison. There, I said it. The name that's been haunting every Leeds United board meeting this summer. Remember when we thought this guy was going to be our Premier League savior? Fast forward to today, and he's become the financial equivalent of a lead balloon tied around our necks. The 28-year-old winger has transformed from asset to absolute headache, and the Leeds faithful deserve to know exactly how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here's the brutal reality hitting us right between the eyes. Everton. Yes, those same toffees who watched Harrison stumble through 63 games with a pathetic 4 goals and 3 assists are now trying to pull the ultimate heist. David Moyes and his crew want to sign Harrison for absolutely nothing. Not a penny, not a pound, completely free. But here's where it gets absolutely mental. We can't even give him away. Why? Because if we terminate his contract or let him go for free, it creates PSR implications that could cripple our entire transfer strategy. We're literally trapped with a player who's worth millions on paper, but untouchable in reality. The 49ers are walking a tightrope here. They've already invested wisely with Gabriel Gudmundsson's $10 million arrival, but every pound spent pushes us closer to that PSR danger zone. Harrison's wages are bleeding us dry, but getting rid of him might cost us even more. Daniel Farke might have no choice but to give Harrison another shot at Elland Road, despite his shocking form at Goodison Park. A 49.2% dribble success rate, creating just 61 chances in 63 games. These aren't the numbers of a player worth the wages we're paying. Think about the madness of this situation. We're being held hostage by our own player. The same winger who was supposed to be our creative spark is now the anchor dragging us down. BBC Sports' Adam Pope has confirmed what we all feared. Everton would happily take Harrison off our hands for free, but the PSR implications of paying off his contract would be catastrophic for our summer plans. This isn't just about one player anymore. It's about the entire philosophy of how we build squads. We're stuck with expensive deadweight while competitors are making smart, affordable moves. The junior Firpo replacement in Gabriel Gudmundsson looks brilliant, but how many more shrewd signings can we make with Harrison's wages eating up our budget? But wait, it gets worse, because while we're stuck with Harrison, we're missing out on actual game changers. Leeds faithful, prepare to have your hearts broken. While we're wrestling with the Harrison disaster, news has emerged that will leave you questioning everything about our transfer strategy. SCM Steyn. Remember that name because it's going to haunt us for years. This 23-year-old Dutch magician just completed one of the most spectacular seasons in European football. 27 goals in 35 Eredivisie games. Not only did he win the Golden Boot, but he was crowned Player of the Year. And guess what? Feyenoord just signed him for a measly $9.5 million. Here's the kicker that'll make your blood boil. We were offered him first. Leeds United had a chance to sign this goal-scoring phenomenon, but our recruitment team decided he wasn't good enough for our ambitious plans. 7 assists on top of those 27 goals, and we said no. The Dutch media are reporting that Feyenoord was stunned by how easy it was to complete the deal. Why? Because clubs like us in Genoa showed very little interest while this kid was tearing up the Eredivisie. Robin van Persie's side couldn't believe their luck. But here's the excuse that'll make you want to throw your remote at the TV. Apparently, we only saw Stein as a championship option. The thinking behind the scenes? We're prioritizing Premier League experience over raw talent and proven goal-scoring ability. Let me get this straight. We're stuck with Jack Harrison's 4 goals in 63 games, but we turned down a player who scored 27 and 35. We're chasing Sean Longstaff for $12+ million while a bargain basement goal machine was available for $9.5 million. The 49ers claim they want players with top flight experience because that's what cost us relegation in 2023. But here's the reality check. None of our summer signings have Premier League experience either. So why did we pass on a player who could have been the difference between promotion and another season in the championship? This decision exposes a fundamental flaw in our recruitment strategy. We claim we want proven quality, but then we ignore a player who's just delivered the most explosive season in Dutch football. Stein isn't some unproven wonder kid. He's a mature 23-year-old who's proven he can carry a team's attacking burden. Think about the numbers. 27 goals and 7 assists in 35 games means he was directly involved in a goal every single match. That's not luck, that's not a purple patch, that's elite level consistency. And while we're haggling over inflated prices for players with Premier League experience, Feyenoord have secured one of Europe's most exciting talents for less than we spent on Xhaka Bijol. The worst part? FC Twente were his previous club, and they couldn't keep him despite his incredible form. This was a player ready to step up to the next level, and we weren't even in a conversation when the bidding started. And if you think that's frustrating, wait until you hear about the rising star who's about to choose our rivals over us. This is it, Leeds faithful, the final nail in the coffin of our summer transfer strategy. James McAtee, the 22-year-old Manchester City wonder kid who's been on our radar since January. The England U21 star who represents everything we claim to want. Young, talented, Premier League ready, and available for $25 million. But guess what? We're nowhere to be seen. While we've been playing games with Newcastle over Sean Longstaff, watching 3 bids get rejected. McAtee's future is being decided without us even in the conversation. Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace have swooped in, and suddenly we're not even mentioned as interested parties. This lad doesn't just have potential, he's got proven quality. His performances for England U21s this summer should have every championship club begging for his signature. But here's the crushing reality. He wants to stay in the Premier League. Forest and Palace can offer him European football next season. They've got the glamour of the lights, the big stage that we lost when we crashed out of the top flight. Meanwhile, we're stuck trying to convince players that championship football at Elland Road is somehow more attractive than Premier League action with European nights. Everton, yes, those same toffees trying to fleece us over Harrison are also in the McAtee race. The irony is suffocating. They're using our own player against us while simultaneously courting the player we actually want. The 49ers take our time approach is backfiring spectacularly. While we're being methodical and measured, our rivals are being decisive and aggressive. McAtee wants to move this summer, but we're not even making noise about matching other clubs' ambitions. Here's the brutal truth that every Leeds fan needs to hear. We're still not the destination we think we are. Players look at us and see a big club with history, but they also see a championship side with no guarantees. Forest and Palace might not have our tradition, but they've got what matters most in modern football: Premier League status and European football. What makes this even more painful is that McAtee fits perfectly into Daniel Farke's system. He's the creative midfielder we've been crying out for since we lost creative spark in the Premier League. At 22, he's entering his prime years, and Manchester City are willing to let him go for $25 million. That's reasonable money for a player of his caliber. But here we are watching from the sidelines as our competitors circle like vultures. Sky Sports aren't even mentioning us in their latest reports about McAtee's future. We've gone from being linked since January to being completely forgotten in the space of a few weeks. The timeline tells the whole story. We've been exploring a deal for months while other clubs have been taking decisive action. McAtee's made it clear he wants to leave City this summer. But instead of capitalizing on our early interest, we've allowed ourselves to be overtaken by clubs who can offer what we can. Premier League football and European competition. This isn't just about missing out on one player. It's about a pattern of hesitation that's becoming all too familiar. We identify targets, we negotiate endlessly, and then we watch them slip away to clubs who are willing to pull the trigger when it matters most. Leeds faithful, it's time for some serious soul searching. Are we watching our summer transfer strategy collapse in real time? Are the 49ers making the right calls, or are we about to waste another season being nearly good enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you furious about the Harrison situation? Heartbroken about missing out on Stein? Or devastated that McAtee might choose our rivals over us? Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because this transfer window is far from over. And if these three stories tell us anything, it's that the next few weeks are going to be absolutely mental. The question every Leeds fan is asking tonight: are we building for promotion, or are we just treading water in the championship while our rivals get stronger? Mauti,